Hey guys, I'm RozaldVaneGAME, and welcome back to another episode of Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Where we last left off was we basically closed out, not closed out, but we caught up with Amaru. He ran off with all the tools and he started the ritual, and now he's caused a lunar eclipse, I guess, or solar eclipse, whichever eclipse it is. I think it's solar eclipse. Caused a solar eclipse, started the ritual. He's now ingrained with the power of the eggshell and maybe not the eggshell, the silver box basically, and the dagger that unlocks the power. And yeah, we basically broke this ritual a little bit, but now it seems like we're gonna have to deal with him ourselves, as he is powered up by the soul, which you can kind of see from here. So I'll let this cutscene play again, because we saw this part in the last episode at the end, and yeah, let's see what happens. I don't know how we're gonna deal with this guy, but we'll try.
No! Nothing will stop me. Remaking the world.
Okay. Dodge that.
Today we take control of our destiny.
Is he gonna teleport tonight? Yeah, he does. I remember. Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Oh god. Oh, what the heck was that? He just sent me flying onto the floor or something like that? Oh jeez, okay. I think that the okay, I need to switch weapons here. Okay. I don't know what to expect here. I only know that I have stuff going on. Oh jeez. There's a lot of shakiness. I don't know why. It's too much shaking here. Okay, he doesn't know where we're at. Not at all, for some reason. The helicopter's being weird, as always. What the heck? Oh gosh. How did I end up with the... Oh, I see. Oh jeez. Okay, let me run this way. Okay, I need to figure out where this extra guy is. There's another person around here somewhere. Yeah, it switches my weapon because I used the other... Okay. Yeah, apparently this thing lets you hide behind the wall or something. Gosh. There's another guy roaming about. I just don't know where. Yeah, this guy's roaming about. It's really ridiculous to me. Alright. At least we got that guy out of the way. I'll take it. I'm thinking we need to, like, stealth attack Amaru, I think, but I don't know if that's like a thing we need to worry about. Oh jeez, there's too much shaking. Oh! What? I'm so confused. Oh, there we go. I'm so confused by that.
You can't match a god.
Okay, we got his little weird blade thing.
I have allowed you to live. No more.
Oh jeez. Oh. Oh, there we go. That's another slash. Okay. This is a weird fight, but I appreciate the fighting so far.
My TT is mine to protect, not yours.
Oh, what?
I thought you were smart.
Oh jeez. Oh, okay. I didn't know how bad this was gonna get. Okay, let me get out of here. Let me reload. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Okay, I guess. Oh, jeez. Okay, there's another guy. I forget about that guy almost. There's another guy somewhere off on the side I don't like. There we go. At least that guy's out of the way. Sheesh. Oh. He's coming close. Go, 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 go. Ooh. Oof.
Attack all you want, but Cuckoo Gun will only make me stronger.
Well, I'm taking some of the power, it seems. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, going this way. Oh, okay. He teleports to enemies.
Hey, God.
Well, it's not my fault. You freaking have it weirdly. Oh jeez. Okay, he's teleporting away.
Hey, God.
I mean, considering how you're losing power, yeah, you are. Oh jeez. Oh, shoot. How many? Oh god, I'm like trying to focus on like not dying, and the guy literally died on himself. Thanks. Nope. Oh, okay, I guess he teleported. Oop, jeez. There we go. Get that guy out of the way.
Arrogant.
Oh, I'm trying to like dodge, but I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. There we go. That's the final slash, isn't it? Oh.
I'm sorry.
What? That's...
Protect by Titi.
What? Protect by TD with...
Please. Please, Sarah.
I will.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I guess that was what that was.
To claim her treasure, the adventurer, Lara Croft, must outwit the king.
Outwit the king? I think the king might have something to say about that.
Oh. A happier memory.
My loves, will you hold still for a second?
Yes, my white queen. One.
Can I see?
Of course. There's you, and me, and your dad.
Where are we?
Hawaii.
With this key and the silver box, we can remake the world. Without weakness, cruelty.
Ah.
If you had that power, what would you do?
Nothing.
My brave girl, who is not expecting a jaguar attack.
Where shall we go next for our real adventure? I hear the Antarctic is lovely this time of year.
Dad.
Oh no, well then perhaps the salt flats of Utah.
Richard.
I know where we're going.
You do?
Hawaii.
Oh yes, yes, that could be really nice. Well, in that case.
Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad.
I see. So this memory is sort of like a way to kind of entice her to change the world for what she wants, but she knows she can't have it. I mean, doing this would not be perfect either. The world would just still be a facade in some sort of way.
Well, I think that can be arranged.
But I'm wondering if the blade gave her that imagery of that kind of dreamlike world, or if she's just like holding on to it as a way to like tempt her into it, but really doesn't. The eclipse. And now what? How do we undo this ritual?
When the catastrophes come, the god Kukulkan must be sacrificed to power the sun. Otherwise, the world dies. Sacrifice a god?
Are you saying that Laura has to sacrifice
The
her life?
sacrifice is my duty. But if my training fails me, the Crimson Fire will guide me and hold me to my promise.
Oh, so Laura has to sacrifice herself, isn't it?
I like this world. It's not perfect. But everything I love now is in it.
After today, the eclipse will no longer represent us. We keep the sun, but you remove the shadow.
Protect Paititi. Please. Please, Lara.
I will.
Oh? It looks like the dagger is not meant to stab her, I guess. Interesting. Usually you don't want to stare at the sun when it's in the solar eclipse. It blinds you like crazy. That's what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true still. And I'm not doing that. 2 days later. Wow, okay. I am curious what's happening now. It's very interesting. Oh? Unuratu? Her dead body, I'm guessing.
Unuratu. My mother. A warrior. A rebel. A queen. She will be venerated for generations. I miss you.
Laura and Jonah, yep. That made sense that Laura didn't die.
Now, we will heed her spirit to reunite Paititi.
I think the point of why Laura didn't die was because Unuratu's already dead, so she's already sacrificed her soul to stop the thing. Yeah, the moon bracelet thing might have helped Laura at that point, I think.
So I'm head back to Kwakiaku tomorrow.
Really? Missing the jungle? Off in search of the elusive fish tree?
Abby and I are headed to the coast for a few days.
Oh?
I'm glad.
What about you?
I think I'll stay here for a while longer.
And restore a few more artifacts?
Don't know.
It's only fair.
So what will you do?
I don't know. Etzli will help me figure it out. He'll let me know what Paititi needs to rebuild.
Wow.
I'm done searching. I want to be around the living.
All right.
Don't you have to pack or something?
Now you are stuck with me till tomorrow.
You're welcome to stay as long as you wish, Lara.
Alrighty.
Safe travels, Jonah. Once Paititi is restored, perhaps I can join you and learn more about the world beyond Paititi.
No.
Anytime. You just say the word. You too, Uchu?
If he wants to.
So, Jonah, Lara tells me you have a girlfriend.
Oof.
We will come to the wedding.
Okay, that's too fast, man.
Etzli, why don't you show me the plans to the new temple?
Yes, it will be beautiful.
Oh, achievements. Wow, 3 of them. Quite the adventure, rife of passage, smart and resourceful. Achievement unlocked. 3 different achievements. Damn. Alright, that's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I don't think there should be any music playing. I already turned off music, obviously. So there won't be any music to this credit scene. For our friend and colleague, Alexandre... I can't pronounce the last name. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to say Alexandre for now. Man, that was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not Definitive Edition yet, but Definitive Edition to this game, to this playthrough, of course. So that's the ending of the game. I really like this game a lot. I would say that much, because the game definitely is a huge step up to Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider, if I remembered back, I was already getting a little bit drained and tired from the game, I think. But I don't know exactly what the reason came down to it. I think it might have been because the game didn't have... Like, the design and the story of everything felt like everything was kind of closed off and it was like already over. I was wanting to move on because there wasn't much to it, and I think the extra content DLC where Laura goes back to her own home to like explore her father's like past and stuff like that in the mansion was a nice addition to it, but I couldn't like really get into it too much because I was too already moved on towards that point. But I remember Rise of the Tomb Raider was pretty good, I think, in my mind, if I remembered it, playing through it and everything. And I really enjoyed the games overall in that particular installment of the Tomb Raider series, this rebooted Tomb Raider series. And then, of course, Tomb Raider 2013 was pretty good too. I think on its own it's very short, or it's short enough to kind of get to the point where it's like, okay, that's the experience. I love it. You know, it's like it's not too like handholdy, or like it's not trying to force you to go through too much. But in the sense of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I feel like it hits the right mark of not staying too long, but at the same time having a lot more cooler like things going on. Because I think Rise of the Tomb Raider was like, the world was a little bit too like mixed of things that just didn't feel interesting. But here it's like, I think the idea of the greenery, the jungle, the lusciousness made this game a bit more interesting and a bit more enticing for me personally, because I like games with jungles as well in a weird way, like real nature. I know that, you know, Rise of the Tomb Raider had like nature in some sense, like the tundra, mountainous areas, of course, is like the big key thing in there. But this one is like less mountain, more greenery, maybe deeper cavernous areas that feels more cavernous than anything, and has like unique sort of settings for like tombs and stuff like that. And even the first one was like that, but it's a little bit more behind because of the tech of 2013's version of Tomb Raider. Was a little bit more behind, so it wasn't as like good looking as what we have here in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But yeah, I definitely think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is by far my favorite installment version of this trilogy. Definitely the story nailed a good chunk of what needed to be. Unfortunately, some expected points, like Unuratu's death, was kind of expected in my mind. Rourke dying is a good surprise, I guess. Amaru dying was kind of expected, considering how he was the villain of the game at this point. Having to save a little, like, a village or town, a hidden city kind of thing was really interesting of a premise to go and do, and, like, having to explore the sort of historical mythology and stuff like that for this particular, like, South American space. I don't know exactly what part of South America, in my mind, but really diving into that kind of thing and having the language be exclusively from the native side of the country was like really interesting as well to kind of go through. I think this game definitely shines the best in showing some really cool things and having a lot to do in it. A little bit repetitive here and there, but that's not too bad at this point. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider was a bit more repetitive than Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider was a bit more better than what Rise of the Tomb Raider did for repetitiveness, I think, in my mind. But yeah, otherwise, I think definitely Shadow of the Tomb Raider is definitely worth the play so far. I think that we still got like another set of like we still got one side mission and some little side activities left to do, but like otherwise it's like I think it's good enough to a point where like it's concise and to the point to what the content is for this game. And the level designs are fantastic. I think some parts did kind of fall short because of the lighting, or the texture was too subtle in some cases. That was one of my biggest complaint with this game so far with the level design. It's just there's some lighting issues, or just this subtlety with the texture in the level design of the game. And I think that if those two weren't too often seen, or too sometimes haven't seen, like it's not often, but it's like a good chunk of it was there. I don't think it hindered the sort of main story stuff. It hindered definitely for the side content that I was playing through, definitely. So those kind of things kind of shined the worst out of the side content, but it wasn't like the worst to the point where I couldn't beat it. So otherwise, I think that the whole thing, including the side content, was pretty well done with the content of the game. And the upgrades were a little bit I think my gripe with this game, with the content of getting Visage outfits or getting new guns or weapons, is kind of like meh I think the upgrades to the weapons itself is nice, though. It's simplistic enough to get to the point, and I think it's better off. And the abilities were just on and off. Like, some things were good, some things were great. But I think the best of the abilities come from the side content, which is the DLC stuff, which kind of sucks too, but it's what it is, I guess. Yeah, otherwise, I think that's what I want to say for, like, the content and the other stuff. Sound design's fantastic. I think the jungle and the gunshots and everything were pretty solid sounds. I didn't get to hear any of the music, so unfortunately I won't be able to know what the music sounds like. I would have to play through the whole game again just to hear what the sound would be like for this game, so that I can understand what the music was like. Art was great. The environments look gosh darn beautiful, luscious. It feels like I want to be in it. Like, as I said earlier in one of the playthrough episodes, I wish there was like a VR reconstruction. Just put your head there and you just look around and like look at the environment, just look at the leaves, get freaking messed up by the animals. I feel like the animals really did get skimped out on this though a little bit, because I remember Rise of the Tomb Raider had hunting animals as like a unique feature. Unfortunately, this one only had like a few things about it, like a jaguar hunt. But I think that they focused more on the content of exploration, which is a good thing, I think, than it is with the enemy types or the animal types you have to hunt. Like, there's no bear in this game, there's no tiger or anything like that. Although, I don't think it would be nice to have a tiger because it doesn't live in this environment, I don't think. Jaguars do, panthers do, I think, so it makes sense. Or foxes or wolves live in this kind of environment. But I think that, yeah, I think skimping away from the animals a little bit were a negative and a positive at the same time, because I think positively it lets them focus on other things versus the animals being hunted and stuff. But yeah, otherwise I think that's my thinking on that. Story. My biggest point of the story, I think, is that things were interesting. I think there were some good points where Laura got to show who she was and like her challenges of what she's dealing with, from a sort of like thinking that she lost Jonah in one of the scenes and going wild, to her decision to make in how she needs to stop Amaru from sacrificing the world and creating a new one out of his dream, out of his vision. I think Laura definitely had a really cool development in character in this case. Like, it's kind of like a test of who she was compared to what she was in Rise of the Tomb Raider and what she did in Tomb Raider 2013. Like, there was just so much to it that I think I think that this game really does shine the light of sort of like closing out her journey in this trilogy in sorts. And I think that it's definitely a good wrap up for Laura's journey. But my problem with that, on top of that, is this sort of open-ended question of like, does this spell the end of Trinity? Because it didn't feel like an end of Trinity. It just felt like the end of Amaru, who's like partially one of the big heads for Trinity, and also the military force that Trinity holds, which is because of Commander Rourke being dead. Doesn't mean that, because I think military powers usually have, military powers in these games have many heads, so chopping one doesn't mean that you kill all kind of feeling. So I do think that there is a case to be had that, the Trinity, I'm wondering if they will wrap up anything with Trinity in this game and say, like, because it really does leave an open end to say that the next game, which I do think that Amazon and Crystal Dynamics are working on the next Tomb Raider, is what I've seen news articles out of. Whatever comes next of that, is it related to this, or if it's another entirely rebooted version of this again. But, I mean, I'm hoping it continues this story, because this story still does not seem like it ended, but it has ended because of because of Laura finding who she needed to take down to get her quote-unquote vengeance for her father, who got killed by one of the Trinity folks, because one of the Trinity folks didn't want her father to like do like whatever he needed to do to discover the treasure, the hidden treasure and artifacts and stuff, and share it with the world kind of thing. I don't know. I think like the ending of this game also kind of felt a little bit anticlimactic, a little tiny bit, because it felt like when she got stabbed or was about to get stabbed for the dagger to sacrifice the power to restore the world in a sense. I kind of knew she was not. I kind of knew Laura wasn't gonna die because again, it was on the fact that Unuratu said that she needed to set the thing straight, but it needs to be the sacrifice of her, of Unuratu, because Laura was not meant to be the sacrificial lamb of this god thing. It had to be Unuratu, but since Unuratu has died, and since Etzli gave the moon part of the tablet or the bracelet to Laura, it symbolizes the fact that like Laura isn't the sacrificial thing. I think, I don't know, like there's some questions to it a little bit, but I think that was what I was thinking, is like what I'm seeing from the cutscene and the ending. It's just like I think that's what it's trying to say, but otherwise, yeah, I think that kind of ending was a little bit anticlimactic, I guess. Where like in Rise of the Tomb Raider, a lot of tension was rising up to the point where you're like, you know, Jonah's dead, like he's actually dead, and so what do we do to, you know, bring him back to life, kind of thing. So it kind of felt a little different compared to this, where it's like there's really like a twist of sorts that doesn't really pull off anything crazy, I guess. I think the fight for the ending though is pretty interesting. Some of the fights in this game, some of the boss fights, which is only like very few of them, were interesting. I think very simplistic, very straightforward. But I think that a lot of the focus was on the explorations and puzzles, which I think again fits the better balance than to have a boss fight of sorts that could be way too complicated, which is totally fair. I totally think that it's better off that way. But I think that it definitely it wasn't as terribly tough as the 2013 Tomb Raider and the Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider was a little bit weird too as well, of a boss fight. But yeah, I think that this one was a bit more straightforward. I'm glad I could kind of tell it wasn't that bad. And yeah, I just think that it was what it was for telling the whole story as a whole, to get the game to close off this sort of trilogy for Laura as well. I mean, it's a long time running, I think. This game has been a long time running for a while, I think. Like, how many years? 2013 to 2021, I think, was this game's like final like update and stuff. So it's like 7 years in a sense, almost 7-8 years. So it's kind of like a lot happens, I think, for this game, and you know, it's kind of tremendously crazy to see how a game closed out this whole experience in like 3 games of like 8 years. It's kind of insane though to me, I think, because there's so much to it. There's so much like story to tell, crossing 3 different like types of story, from like an Asian type story background, I think, with the island in 2013 Tomb Raider, to like a Native American style like Rise of the Tomb Raider storytelling, and then like here it's like the South American Mayan Aztec kind of style of like storytelling for historical background for that, for the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's just a lot of crazy cool history just pushed into one like core trilogy of experience that I really appreciate, and I really wish there was more games like this. I compare it to, again, like Uncharted series, where it's just like they do have the whole cinematic-y puzzle Indiana Jones style gameplay, and I think this one does hit it too, and I think this one hits it more harder into the sort of like the puzzle and the exploration side of things, while again the Uncharted series had more of the shooter actiony cinematic-y experience. This game does have cinematic experience, but it's not like the heaviest one where it's like it's really focused on having a movie play out, kind of like it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like an actual genuine game, and I really deeply appreciate Eidos-Montréal and Crystal Dynamics for both creating this experience and like making it feel like a game versus a cinematic movie, which I don't hate. I just think that I much prefer it as a game than what Uncharted did with a movie experience, cinematic experience of Nathan just talking and shooting, and not having to worry about like the looming choices that he has to make at the end of the day. Which I think that this game does do a good moral compass kind of story about Laura, where she has to decide the sacrifice. She has to decide the losses and the things that she needs to deal with in her emotional state. And I think it does represent a good chance of like it does a really good representation in woman and power in a sense. Like I do think it does do that very well too as well, because it's kind of giving that character the light to shine and the moment to shine for herself, to be like she's not the weak person out of this whole ordeal. She's like one of the stronger ones and hard to deal with kind of thing. And I like that. I think that's definitely a good way to tell a story about someone who is trying to rise to power and try to like deal with this heavy subject of sacrifice, of tradition, of trying to like make sure that everybody is out and alive and not dead. But of course, you know, it comes with the sacrifice of her going through the whole disaster thing. I think the disaster played out pretty well, I think, as well. The disaster scenes, I don't like them because of the fact that it's like seeing people die is like it's sad. NPCs dying, oh no. Like the whole like flooding and the whole like mudslide was like crazy. It's awesome, but it was a bit too much for me a little bit, because I feel like that's like a really sad scene. But I'm pretty sure in real life it does actually happen, and it's like even more sadder a little bit, but it's not trying to represent those events, of course. But at the same time, I also think that the disaster thing, like the whole like storm, earthquake, mudslide, flooding, like all that sort of disaster stuff felt very like isolated, I guess. Like as I keep playing further in, I feel like they just feel so isolated, so far off from each other. Like it felt like, you know, there's a general big threat, but then it didn't really feel that way anymore after you get out of that situation, I guess. So it's like I felt like one of those things that this game could have went for was like a dynamic change to the scenery or the levels a little bit. Kind of like, if you guys haven't played God of War, I would recommend it. But God of War 2018 has like a sort of like open world hub, and it changes based on where you're at in the story. This game could have done just that as well, but I think that they went for something more simpler by just isolating certain spaces to fit the certain like what happened in that space. Like we did revisit one of the abandoned villages because of the mudslide for a side content DLC thing, which made a lot of sense to me. I think that it was just more of a side content thing, but it would have been nice. Like part of the story is like they were needing to go back in there to just pick up some of the resources to help build out on the stuff. Oh, Tomb Raider community. This is to us, I guess, to all of the people playing the game. The first steps towards rebooting the Tomb Raider franchise were taken back in 2007, full 6 years before the Endurance set sail in 2013. 11 years later, Laura's reimagined origin story is drawing to a close. Over the period of 3 games developed by hundreds of passionate professionals across multiple development studios, Laura has developed in untested adventures. I can't read this fast enough. We've grown alongside Laura and deliver high quality. Thank you for the official Tomb Raider fan sites and the hardworking webmasters who run them. Sweet. That's really nice that they're mentioning all the people who are diehard fans of the Lara Croft Tomb Raider stuff. It's a fantastic showcase for sure. I'm very fascinated by the fact that they actually showcase those. Thank you for their official cosplay ambassadors for bringing Lara Croft to life for fans at conventions around the world. This is a really interesting credits list though, because they're actually mentioning everything else as well. Thank you, dedicated forum staff and chat room moderators. Thank you to talented artists, authors, collectors, cosplayers. Thank you, super fans all around the world, engaging with the social media, stand in time. Special thanks to our players, Janice and Juanita, I think. We are eternally grateful for all our fans, old and new, who have come on this adventure with us, or journey with us. Yeah, definitely. It's worth the adventure, I think. And I think that this is definitely a game worth playing. Even though I played through all of it, or most of it, I guess. Or I'm going to be playing through all of it, most of it. I feel like people should try it out for themselves. I think that it's a really interesting feeling to play through it versus having to watch somebody play through it, I think. If you haven't played through it, I definitely recommend people checking it out. Especially the trilogy, I think. If you haven't gotten the trilogy, this is definitely a trilogy to play. Very unique experience, very different, and very special, I feel like, to people who are fans of Tomb Raider or Lara Croft in general. Oh?
I had it all wrong. I thought that taking control of my life meant venturing out to do something extraordinary. I thought I had to fix everything. But the mysteries of the world are to cherish more than to solve. I'm just one of their many protectors. I'm not sure what the future has in store, Jonah, but whatever adventure's on the horizon, I can't wait to meet it.
Oh, she actually took the server box with her.
I'll try not to take myself too seriously.
Tea, Miss Croft.
Lovely.
Oh, so then this would be like a continuation into the older Tomb Raider games, I'm guessing. Because she doesn't have a butler.
For now, it just feels good to be home.
She didn't have a butler until now, it looks like. Dinosaur and pyramids. Jeez. Alright. Yeah, this is the scene that you usually see if you're exiting out to the main menu. New Game Plus. Unlocked. Congrats, you completed Shadow Tomb Raider. Choose from the main menu. Choose continue from the main menu to return to Paititi if you will arrive before the final battle with Amaru. However, the path of the City of the Serpent is now closed. Interesting. Choose New Game Plus to play again with your existing or acquired equipment and skills. Yeah. Alright. Let's jump back in so we can kind of like see where we're spawned in from. It says that it's before the battle, but I'm like, I'm guessing it's like before we talk to Uru, I think his name is. Alright, sweet. Awesome. Let me change my outfit out. I want to change my outfit at least. Back to my simpler clothes. Yeah, this is the clothes we were working with, I guess. We did get some skill points, I bet. 1. Just 1, okay. Alright. Yep, so we'll be here for the last parts of this episode here. Or we'll be here for this episode here, and then we'll continue on. There's going to be another episode coming after this one still. Let me see what the percentage is. 87. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, that is it for those who are interested in seeing the... actually, let me walk outside, actually. I want to not be in the darkness, because I think my lighting is based on what I have outside, and outside is cloudy as heck. So let's go out here to get a better bright sun into the screen, so it could be a little bit easier to see my face, I guess. I don't know. I like doing that when I'm just, like, doing my face cam stuff. I just need some lighting. Alright, well... Okay, it's a little better. Anyways, that is it for Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition in terms of the main gameplay. I will be continuing a little bit more longer for about 2 or 3 more episodes, maybe 1, I don't know. But we're gonna continue into the series for a little longer. But our focus will be on the side content, so there will be the DLC content, which is to deal with the Abby, because Abby had like side content where she said if you retrieve the silver box, come back to me and then we'll talk more about this side content that you're not able to access. So we're gonna do that in the first thing in the next episode, and then after that I want to see if we can find the last 2 tombs or 1 tomb that's involved with the side content to unlock that last ability that we have hidden for some reason that has not been achieved, I guess, somehow. So we'll do just that, and then after that, that will be it. That will be the end of the series once and for all. But otherwise, this is it for the ending of the main game. So if you don't want to see any of the other stuff later on, that is totally fair. And it could be a stopping point for those people. But if you want to continue on, fret not. There will be another few episodes closing out some of the last bit of content for the definitive edition of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Never You Mind. So hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, night, or whenever watching this. I said all my points for what I think about this game so far. Again, I really, really, really like this game a lot. As part of the trilogy, I think this is the best part of the trilogy of the game, and I think it's worth the play. If you haven't played the game yourself, I'll leave links down below to all the console versions and the PC versions of where you can pick up the game for yourself to play this game. If you want to watch the other games that I've played. Obviously, the ending sequence of the video will take you there. Will probably lead to like some of my Tomb Raider gameplay so far. I think maybe Rise of the Tomb Raider will be the thing you'll see in the ending of here, ending of the video here, and then I'll put the 2013 when we hit the final episode of the series, I guess, as like the point. But otherwise, I think yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing out the series once and for all with the final few episodes, and then chasing after what's left of. Well, actually, no. Then I would be chasing on to what's next after that, which I will probably talk about at the very, very end of this series, I guess. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching again, and hope you guys in the next episode, or nobody minds. Hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, night, or whenever watching this. So, otherwise, Roz, out.